Every day, auditors face decisions that shape resilience. Most see the control. Leaders see the risk behind it. This is the CISA Audit Judgment Series, your training ground for audit leadership. The difference between a junior auditor and an audit leader often comes down to one thing: weak signals, the small clues, the subtle misalignments, the inconsistencies others overlook. Weak signals reveal risk before it becomes failure. In CISA exam scenarios and in real audits, the risk rarely announces itself loudly. It whispers, quietly, strategically. Audit leaders hear it. A weak signal can be a one-line log entry that deviates, a privilege granted temporarily 6 months ago, a KPI trending downward, ignored for months, a backup that succeeded too quickly, a policy that's updated but never socialized, a process owner who hesitates when explaining a control, a recurring exception that no one questions. Each one is small, individually harmless, but collectively dangerous. Weak signals are not findings. They are friction points. Points where governance weakens. Points where risk gets a foothold. And CISA expects you to detect them. You're reviewing security monitoring logs. Most alerts are low-priority noise. But one alert, a failed authentication from an unusual location, keeps appearing every few days. It's not high risk. It's not flagged by the system. No incident has occurred. The junior auditor scrolls past it. But the audit leader pauses. Why does this keep happening? Why this pattern? Why this asset? A weak signal is rarely urgent, but it's always important. Because weak signals often reveal dormant vulnerabilities, ineffective monitoring, undetected misconfigurations, under-the-radar access misuse, early reconnaissance attempts. In one real case, this exact weak signal was the first clue of a credential stuffing attack. That went unnoticed for weeks. Leaders don't chase noise. They investigate patterns. CISA scenarios often include subtle clues like the system occasionally fails, a control owner was unsure, a low-severity alert repeated, documentation was inconsistent, a user retained temporary access. The control worked, but not every time. These weak signals exist to test awareness. CISA rewards candidates who ask, why is this happening? What risk does this hint at? Is this a symptom of a deeper issue? The wrong answers rush into action. The right answers step back and analyze the underlying risk. Weak signals test your ability to see the hidden governance gaps that average auditors miss. And that's the foundation of audit leadership. Audit leaders don't escalate every weak signal. They interpret them. They ask, does this signal reveal a pattern? Does it suggest a systemic control weakness? Is this the first domino in a larger failure? Does this indicate behavior, process, or design risk? Weak signals are early warnings. They give audit leaders time to question, time to assess, time to prevent bigger issues. And when an audit leader brings a weak signal forward, executives listen because it shows depth, awareness, and strategic insight. Audit leadership is built one decision at a time. Today was one of them. Thank you for listening to the CISA Audit Judgment Series.